Hello and welcome to the JTrain podcast. This is JTrain Jared Freid coming to you live from the West Village of Manhattan. It is a Chit Chat Wednesday, and I am so excited. I try to book a guest that is a friend, comedian, expert. Cipha Sounds is all three. He is a friend, he's a great comedian, and he's one of the greatest DJs of all time. And we talk about this on the episode. And he never talks about it. He never brings it up. He doesn't bring up who he knows and who he worked with. And I wanted to ask him about changing careers, doing a pivot, because right now it's the time of year. It's getting dark earlier. You're sitting there in your thoughts. Maybe there's a thing in your head that you never tried or you wanted to do that you've been tossing around. And this is the time of year that seems to happen. So I wanted to talk to someone who has made a pivot successfully about how hard it is. And we get into it about midway through the episode and talk about, him going from DJing to comedy. And it's just a great episode. I think it's a great conversation to start the year with. And I hope you guys enjoy and follow Cipha Sounds. He's amazing. Enjoy the episode. Boom. Welcome to the new JTrain podcast. Hello and welcome to the JTrain podcast. This is JTrain Jared Freid coming to you live from the West Village of Manhattan. That's right. Every Wednesday is a Chit Chat Wednesday. I have on a friend, a comedian, an expert. I'm very excited to have all three of those on today. The hilarious Cipha Sounds. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me on CHIT CHAT Wednesdays.
It's Chit Chat Wednesday. Okay, Chit Chat. Like we're having a chit chat.
Oh, a chit chat. Okay. Is that racist? Is that racist?
Someone might inform me that you've offended the Chit Chat community. I don't know. I like the sound of chit chat. I like saying it. Say it.
Yeah. This girl DM'd me, and she goes, "I got some gossip, but I can't say it." I go, "Don't say it." This is what DMs are for.
Well, I got some gossip, but I can't say it. What do I have to beg you? Why are you doing this to me?
Give me a gossip.
Are you a gossiper, Cipha?
Okay, this is what I said to her. I go, normally I refrain and actually advise against it, but every once in a while, you got to get in it.
Well, it does scratch an itch. It does feel good. It's the most Schadenfreude thing. It feels good to watch others. Like when it's not you. When it's you, I that's like my worst nightmare. I like to be the fodder. Yeah. Of especially TikTok, it has there's a version of TikTok that has devolved into salacious storytelling from people who seemingly don't have anything to lose ever. That's kind of the problem. They're not like journalists who have integrity. It's like someone in their PJs and their house looks like it smells like garlic and they're like, here's the tea. And you're like, wow, how did you get in this business? Do you know what I mean?
And they were hit on by an actor or a celebrity or even their personal drama. Just my TikTok right now, and I don't know how this shifted, is a lot of bad first dates. I see those too, and men don't have bad first date stories, really. There's no bad. You're right. There's no men.
Right. There's no men, and it is the ultimate punch up thing because the men. And listen, I'm saying this admittedly as a man. I've never really had I just did an interview with the New York Post about dating Sunday. And they were asking, and I get it. The interviewer, she's like, do you have any awful date stories from the year? I'm like, no. I generally have a good time with one. I think what happens with a lot of, I think when a first date goes badly, it is a woman who's like, I don't know, we'll see what happens. He seemed okay. And then a man who's like, I'm on a date with a girl I really want to have sex with. That is because so many women were like, he checks some boxes and I'll see if there's a good vibe. Yeah. No guy goes on a first date without the idea that he is not, a guy doesn't go on a first date unless he's sexually attracted. It's just plain and simple, which is kind of a good, you could look at it from a good angle where it's hey, to the ladies out there, like if the guy's out with you, he is attracted to you. So you know, one mystery is solved.
Yeah, big box checked.
Right. And then the rest is like, but also you're dealing with a fucking grizzly bear who's out of his mind and is like, you know, and that's how that's the start of a bad date, is like a guy who's looking for something different than just a date, and that's scary. I do get that. But I see it on TikTok, and sometimes you see those stories and you're like, and it's like, here's the other thing. If you get your story to a minute, you can make money from that TikTok. So it's like, if it worked once and then you all of a sudden you get a little bit of a following, you're like, I got to keep the ship afloat. So I don't really trust a lot of the bad date stories, because they start with like, let me tell you, and you can see they're wasting time.
Yeah. And also, like, one thing, rest in peace to this comedian, Patrice O'Neal. We're comics, so we know him, but some people don't know who Patrice O'Neal was. And he used to say, men start at 100. Like, if we go on a date, you're at 100, and then you knock yourself down throughout the course of me knowing you. Women, when you go on a date with a man starts so low, and then he got to build himself up.
Okay, right.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
so the women start at 100. Like I'm here. Like so that was a Patrice O'Neal joke.
Yeah, not really a joke, like a philosophy.
Right. He had a lot of philosophies.
Yeah, a lot of philosophies.
He's saying that the woman walks in and then she like, you're like, I want to fuck her.
Yeah, she's at 100.
Right.
This could as long as you don't mess up, you're good. I'm here with you. You are good.
Right.
And then, you know, she starts knocking herself down.
Right, she'll say, you go, oh, no, I'm not into that. Well, it's funny, like, I do the thing about the ick, and, like, there's, like, always, you know, I said that I have no relation to the ick, and there was a commenter who was like, look at this guy would fuck any woman ever, and I'm like, no, I'd fuck any woman that I've been on a date with.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't leave the house. Like, to me, I'm being more honest, I think, you know, but.
But some of these guys, though, Jared, I mean, if these stories are true,
right,
some of these guys do wild stuff.
No. I listen. I have no doubt the stories are true. That's the thing. That's the thing where I never want to make myself the hero, because I can understand someone goes on a date with me. They're like, this guy Jared, he was a dick. I don't know. I don't think I was, but like the idea that like I don't like when I hear these stories, I go, I've never done that, but. Wow, I'm sorry that happened. Like, I'm not, like, shocked that it went the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. And especially we're that time of year right now where people are like, okay, like, they're forcing themselves out of the house. They don't want to go on the first date. They want to just...
Why? Because it's cold?
It's cold. You don't feel good about your body. Like, right? Like, I'm like the idea of going on a date tonight right now when I'm sitting here in stretch pants and like a sweatshirt that I put on over a t-shirt because like I ain't wearing t-shirts right now. Yeah. Like, that is like hell on earth. Like, why can't we need to like, I think that'd be great. Every January date, if you do it, it should be sweatsuits only. And then we like move our way towards...
I would
better
love that.
Clothing.
I would love that anytime.
I know, but I'm saying for January, it should just be like a national law.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, come on.
Now, I wanted to, you're bringing up the new year. I have a couple questions written down for you. I thought of you for a new year, like our new year, first week, real week. The week hit me hard today.
Yeah.
What did you do for New Year's Eve? What did you do? Anything? Shows?
I did a show. I was in Chicago with the comedian D. Ray Davis.
I know D. Ray. He's very funny.
He had a big show with a bunch of comics. He's like hosting. He does a show in LA called Mo Better Mondays. Okay. He hosts and brings up a bunch of comics. So he basically had that, but in Chicago, his hometown.
That's great. Who was, so you were on the show? Who else?
Jess Hilarious, Donnell Rawlings, DC Young Fly, Jazzy Faye performed at the end. It was an urban show.
I was about to say. I was like, wait, I'm looking for the Jewish names. Where's these are called urban shows. Like that is like what they're called. You know, like Mo Better Mondays.
Sam J was there too. Yeah, it was an urban show.
But that's a really great show. You know, no matter what the show is. But this is like, it is funny, like comedy. We are front row seats for like these different scenes, and I don't think and it's outward and it's good, and then. I don't think other people in other industries like understand that. Like, when people get like, I always say when people get offended at jokes by like comedians who are like very good, I'm like, that comedian works in the most diverse workplace in the world. Like the idea that they've said that in front of everyone, they've said that in, they're maybe talking about, like they've tested this in front of friends. And you go like that are like from whatever you're offended for, like it's
exactly.
It's always crazy. So the show was good.
Show was good. Yeah, it was really good. It was fun.
Well, also urban shows, they say the overlying thing from comedians is you will kill, you will either crush, or you will bomb harder.
The kill is harder.
Yes.
And the inverse, the bomb is harder.
The bomb is harder.
So I thought I was going to bomb.
Okay.
Because I haven't done a show like that in a while. And I also was first on New Year's Eve.
Oh, God.
It was hard for people to get in, parking, all that stuff. I'm not trying to say black people are always late, but it was a slow trickle in. So when I got on, it was still only half full. And I did much better than I thought I would do, which was I was super happy about.
The New Year's Eve show, you're just trying to get through. Like, you just want to, like, have a good enough set that you can, like, clink the glass at midnight and feel good about your night. It's not, I understand that. But I love an urban room for that reason. Like, when you murder, you just crush. They're, like, screaming.
This guy, Damon Williams, is from Chicago. He's, like, an old school guy. He's actually the one that put D-Ray on to comedy years and years ago.
Okay.
He crushed.
I love watching it too.
Oh, I love comedy so much. I watch it. We do comedy. We're always at the Comedy Cellar a lot. I stay and watch all the time. I love it.
I love watching and and I think watching, some people I don't know, maybe I'm putting I like watching in the way where I'm like, let's see what they're gonna do. Like it's never like a hate thing. Like I've watched someone. I'm like, I want this to be fun and different and original. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I toss between. Damn, I wish I could. Oh, this is what I hate. A joke, a great joke from a topic that is right in front of us.
Right.
And we didn't touch it, and they're like, that topic was right there the whole time.
Anyone could have done it, right?
And they killed it. That's when I get upset.
I had that with someone, and then it's funny. Like someone will like tell you about a joke like that. Those are the jokes that sometimes like comedians will be like, he's got this new thing about this, and someone said that to me about Mulaney, and he's got this joke about The Exorcist. And have you seen him do that joke?
Yeah, I saw it.
And then someone told me about it. They're like, I love this joke he's doing about The Exorcist. And I think that's because we're like, man, I love that he found that in that like that path that's already been walked.
The movie from the 70s.
Right. The movie's been around. Like comedians have been around. Yeah. And he went up and did it. And I watched it and I was like, I had that feeling. I was like, oh man, this was there the whole time.
No, the one that kills me, and then we'll talk about New Year's, Nate Bargatze. I think like 2 specials ago has a joke about the movie The Sixth Sense.
Okay.
And he goes, it's a 20-year-old movie. I'm going to spoil the ending. Like, we get it. All right? It's the movie most talked about, the twisted ending of all movies of all time.
It's the original M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah, it's when he first did twist. The turn. Yeah.
Yeah. And he goes, forget all that. He goes, marriage is so rough. The whole movie, Bruce Willis and his wife aren't talking, and it felt normal. and he goes, we find out that at the end he was dead the whole time, and I didn't even realize it. Like, I just thought, man, he's going through a rough marriage right now. And
that's how hard marriage is
the whole time. That joke was there the whole time.
Just waiting. It's like Gold Rush shit. It's like that little nugget was just people walked over it all day long. And then you decide to dig right there, and you're like, "Oh, here's a gold brick," like. No, man, it is, and it makes me happy. Like I really, I'm hearing this, and I didn't know that was a joke he did, but like, it makes me happy. And then, to go to the TikTok of it all, like, what makes me so frustrated with TikTok is like, you'll have people redoing other people's stuff, and it like takes away, and it makes, like, I'm sure someone on TikTok is like doing that as like a face to camera thing now, claiming it's their own, getting 100,000 views, and you're like, don't take it away. What are you doing?
At least tag the person, man.
Right. I had a guy
like,
do that.
This is funny. This is a housewife doing someone's joke. Right. What joke is this? And I go looking for it, and it's not on there.
Yeah, it's a frustrating time for that stuff. I brought, so New Year's, you do the show in Chicago.
Yeah.
And fun.
Yeah, fun.
It was
fun.
over
before New Year's. I was in my hotel room when the ball dropped.
I was at a bar by myself in Miami and having a martini, watching the world go by. I had an enjoy. It was nice, but I was by myself, and I did have that, like, it was 10 minutes. Two things happened. It was, the first thing that happened was they brought over a bunch of those plastic hats.
Yeah.
And that say 2025 on it. And I'm sitting by myself, and this guy who's with his wife and another couple, he comes over to grab the hat, and then he picks one up. He goes, "Do you want one?" And I was like, "No, man, I'm good." And he goes, "You don't want the hat?" And I was like, "No, I'm okay." And I'm like, you can't believe that I don't want the sparkly bowler hat to wear by myself. Yeah. Like leave me alone. Like, it's like the last thing I want is like what do you, like, at 11:50 on New Year's Eve, I don't want the one drunk dude being like, "Why are you here alone? What's going on?" Like, what are you, my mom, just reminding me that this is sad, like, so I go, so at like 11:52, I'm like, man, I'm afraid that someone's going to come over here and like that, like, I'm afraid that guy is going to come back. Like, if we make eye contact for too long, he's going to come back and be like, "What's going on?" So I closed my tab literally to prepare to go to the room to do it in the room, because I didn't want to have to, like, 11:58, this guy questioning. I had, and again, that's me getting ahead and being, insecure. And then he didn't come over, and I was like, okay, I'm good. And then the ball dropped, and like, I kind of watched everyone, hooray. And then the DJ started again, and I was like, I'm actually happy and comfortable. Like, I felt, it was 30 seconds of like, uh-oh. And then once it passed, I was like at the bar, I opened a tab again. Like, I'm like, I'll get a drink. But I wanted to ask you, this is New Year.
Yeah.
You went from being one of the, you have a legendary DJ career.
Yeah.
You don't talk about it often. You don't walk around being like, I'm a Hall of Fame DJ. Like, and I'm not trying to blow smoke, because I'm not even exaggerating. But you never talk about it. Never talk about it. And you're a hilarious comic. But I want to, and when you go up and do DJ/comedy, I love watching that. Like, it is like so much fun. And when I watch you at the Cellar, I always have fun watching you. But you never bring up Hall of Fame, legitimately Hall of Fame DJ, like original.
Yeah.
And then you decide to do comedy. And I'm sure there's people out there, it's the first week of the new year, the first full week, and they're like, I got to make a change. What would you say to someone that's looking to make a career change like you did?
Oh, I love this. I love this.
You love this question, or you love
all
the
this,
change?
This concept is part of my everyday life.
Right. That's why I was thinking when I saw you, and I was like, I got to do the first Chit Chat Wednesday of the year.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I was thinking of you, and I was like, man, because there's someone out there, just like we said, it's freezing cold out. The days are short and they're dark, and you're like, and people start thinking of their life. So,
100%.
What would you say to someone like that?
First of all, let me tell you this real quick, Jared. I've struggled with, I guess I want to say depression, but I don't know if it's clinical depression. I'm just saying I struggle with these feelings, right? And I have imposter syndrome, and I get in my head a lot. I don't know what happened. I know the date, November 17th, 2024. I got hit with some kind of divine intervention, universe alignment. Something happened on November 17th. I haven't been depressed since.
Really?
And it has given me such more clarity on stuff like this, what you're asking me. Now, mind you, I work hard. Like you said, I was this DJ, and then I switched to comedy. I've been at the Comedy Cellar about 10 years now, which is like an anniversary to me, a personal one.
A great one.
But without this constant nagging depression, you're not good enough, all this shit, it's been the last 2 months, or 1.5 months, has been wonderful.
Well,
So,
I'm happy to hear that.
thank you. So what I tell people is like, man, we get caught up in societal norms, parents, traditions, religion, American culture. We get caught up in all those things, and you know, when you're being told this as a child to a teenager, you don't know you have freedoms. You don't know you can change your life and move around. It's like we come from these families, and you, judging from your comedy, your family's probably a lot more than mine, where they
That's the name of my next album. Yeah.
and you're told you got to do this, you got to do that. I had a
Right.
fight with my son. My son is 6 years old, and he was like, he has to do this assignment. And I go, no, we don't have to do that. And he got upset. He goes, no, my teacher told me I had to do this. And I'm like, you're not a slave to the public school system. And I was like, take it down.
Your kid walks in. He's
big
like
guy.
the Malcolm X of the,
Exactly.
the first grade. Right, he's got his fist in the air at recess.
Yeah, so I had to like take it down, but I was just
Yeah.
like, you know, yes, you got to make sure you take care of your business and your family, make sure you have a home, all that good stuff. But if you have a dream or a passion and you want to try that thing more than just a job so you get married and have kids, you got to do it. You got to find a way to do it, because you will burn yourself out, get depressed, get stressed. And the analogy I always make is, at a certain age, when I was on the radio, I was a manager, an A&R, radio personality, big time DJ.
Yeah.
I start shifting into comedy. Now, it wasn't just one day I just shifted. I was starting to do stand-up while I was DJing. And everybody told me, no. You can't be a comedian. No, what are you doing? You're a radio guy. You're a DJ. You're in the hip-hop music business. You can't be a comedian. I heard that a lot, right? And then I was like, no, I want to do this. I quit my job on the radio. I start doing comedy full-time. And then you know what hit me, Jared? When I was 17, 18, 19 years old, everybody told me I can't be a DJ. I can't. No. You got to get a real job. You can't be a DJ. There's no money in that. There's no success in that. You can't be a DJ. Get a real job. And I ignored them and became a well-known DJ, radio personality, hip-hop.
Hall of Famer.
So then, now you're telling me I can't do this other thing when you told me I couldn't do this thing. And I was like, oh, it's all bullshit.
Right.
It's all bullshit. It's their insecurities, their inability to conquer their goals and their dreams, trying to hold you down.
Right.
So I made it as a DJ when you said I shouldn't, and now I'm trying to make it as a comedian, and you're saying I should. What are you? I already proved I can do things.
Right.
Leave me alone.
So much of it is like, so much of it is actually what people don't really think about. Like, and I'm saying this from just my own perspective, is like, it's all about perspective and reorganization a lot of times. Like, this young woman, she was the bartender at a hotel I was staying at, and she asked me what I was doing, and I'm a comedian, and she's like, I'm an artist. And I was like, and she was asking me for like advice, and I was like, I go, I don't know. I go, I think the best thing I ever did was boil it down to what I wanted. And it was like, I just want to be funny for a living.
Yeah.
And like that becomes hard because it's like, you know, I want to be when I broke it down to that, then it kind of like made it less like I was trying to get through a pinhole because that made it so, and that opened me up to do podcasting. That opened me up to do to host at the Comedy Cellar before doing, you know, spots and stuff because I was like, I'll do host. Let's see what that's like.
Yeah.
You know, like, and, you know, I'll do a video. I'll do a talk to the camera. Like, I'll yell at The Bachelor. You know, it made those things not like stupid. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think we come across so many people that they're like, it's got to be this one thing. And it's like, no, I'm making a living doing the thing, the overarching thing. Yeah, and having fun doing it. But it's, well,
you're way more popular than me. And you do way more big shows, headlining shows. You have specials out, all that stuff. Like, people look at me like I'm like a loser. Like,
that can't be true.
People that don't realize what we do, they're like, Cipha, what are you doing with I don't have a ton of crazy followers. I never got a video that got 1 million views, right? So to them, they're like, what are you doing with yourself? And I go, I make a great living.
Right. Well, I do think when you do comedy, like you, the general you, nobody thinks there's such a thing. And I would put myself in this group as a middle-class comedian.
Middle class.
They think it's Seinfeld or
Sebastian
or loser. Right. There's like 5 names or you're nothing. You're I have that happen to me all the time where you know, and I can see in their voice of like, oh, like what do you, oh, I'm sorry. Like they think I'm like begging them just because we get such weird reactions to, oh, what do you do? I'm a comedian. Oh, that must be hard. Yeah. I've never said that to someone about their job. That must be hard.
What?
Like, yeah, man, I'm living on this corner. Please help me. Like what?
No, I said that to one person recently, my urologist.
Okay. That must be hard.
Because he had to check, you know, to check certain areas. And I go, that's a weird job.
Hold on. Before we move on, reach new heights this year with Via. Via is the Swiss Army knife of wellness, whether you want to improve your sleep, focus, recovery, add some pep to your step, or just get high. Via's got you covered. With products ranging from 0 to 100 milligrams of THC, you can choose your own adventure. I am a huge fan of what Via is doing because I'm like a THC novice. If you're looking for something to help you get to sleep at night, there's like, you know, or you want like different levels of it. They have a marketplace. And what I also love, I've given some of it to my friends. They have like sleepy time, zoning in, sexual flavors. So they have a different THC for whatever experience you're looking for. So I just love what they're doing. I love that they're simplifying it. Like you don't need someone to walk you through, well, this is indica in the couch. No. Yeah. They have like, this is for lovemaking. This is with a partner. This is with, you know, to focus. This is to relax. This is to sleep. So go to their website and check out the marketplace. I think this is fantastic, especially if you're like me, where you're not like a weed guy. Via seriously has it all, from soothing topicals and calming drops to THCA, flower, gummies, and vapes. Whatever you're looking for, Via's got it. There's not even a medical card required to try it out. So this is beautiful. If you're out there and you're looking, especially, I'm going to give you some free money. If you're 21 plus, check out the link to Via in our description and use the code JTrain. That's code JTrain to receive 15% off. And if you're new to Via, get a free gift of your choice. This is beautiful. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, support the show, and tell them we sent you. This year, enhance your everyday with Via. So that's our one sponsor. It is in the description of this episode here with Cipha Sounds. Go follow Cipha. Cipha is hilarious at Cipha Sounds on Instagram and TikTok and all the good stuff. Cipha. So when you made the change, you said it was little by little.
Yeah.
Who do you tell first?
I'll say the the change, like the official, I want to do this for real, is February 2015.
And
Who do I-
what are you thinking about right now when you think of that date? Like what was it?
Oh my God, I was okay. Can I tell you the story real quick?
Yeah, this is
It
what
was
this is for.
it was the weirdest week of my life. So I worked at Hot 97 from 1997 until 2015, and the very beginning of 2015, and I would go to that station maybe 6 days a week if I was in town. I'd be there almost every day of my life. I've seen other personalities raise their kids there, like they'd bring their kids in. I watch them become kids, grown-ups, and there was new management. I had a little falling out. I was going to shift to a different time. All this radio's always so fickle. And they were like, you can take this little bit of money and stay on the weekends. And I almost had Stockholm syndrome. I was like, okay, I'll stay on the weekends. I'll still be here. And the universe was
You're
like,
trying
no,
to
no, no,
stay in the game. Is that kind of what's going on?
Yeah, like it was very weird leaving a place I've been to for so long.
Right.
But the universe was like, no. Get out. We're giving you the opportunity. And I was fighting it a little. So Monday, I have a big fight with the new boss. I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm out. Tuesday is lawyers and paperwork. Sign this. You're officially not an employee. Da 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 da. Wednesday was the weirdest day of my life. I wake up. I have no purpose. I have no income, no goal. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And Wednesday, I was just depressed in my apartment. Like, what did I do? What am I doing? How am I going to get money? Da, 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 da. Whatever. I watch TV. I watch old movies. Thursday, I'm like, all right, let me put on my big boy pants and try to figure this out. Let me go on my phone. All these people that I've done favors for, all these people that I know, let me figure out what to do. Thursday, I get a call from Chris Rock's assistant. Chris Rock's assistant goes, hey, I've been meaning to call you. I keep forgetting. I'm so sorry. Chris Rock got you an audition at the Comedy Cellar. Mind you, I've been doing stand-up before the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah.
But it was like all random, like little shows all over the place. I would always ask big comedians if I could open up for them, shit like that. He goes, oh, Chris Rock got you an audition at the Comedy Cellar. Now, I asked Chris Rock maybe 4 months earlier from that moment when thought I was secure at the radio station. He said, oh, I'll get you an audition. I'll get it. And I never heard from him. So I said, he forgot. So I get the audition, the call that Thursday, the auditions that next day, Friday.
Yeah.
If people don't know this, the Comedy Cellar isn't very popular. Comedy Video
This is
most
where you want to be.
Yeah. But you have to audition and get in there. I do the audition Friday. I get it.
Unreal.
And like, if you want to talk about a moment, and now this is before I even knew how important the Comedy Cellar was. Now that we work there, we get it.
Right.
I didn't know. I was still kind of like new to the game. A euphoric feeling of like I made the right choice. Now, no big money's gonna come in all of a sudden, but I made the right choice. I left an iconic radio station, a dynasty almost.
Hot 97 is it.
Hot 97 was.
Yeah.
It ain't no more, man.
When you were there, I wasn't from here.
Yeah.
New Yorkers, if you bring up Hot 97, they go back to like that is their
late 90s.
That was the station.
2000. It was more than it was social media before social media. All the news you got, all the celebrities, they were all at the station, Hot 97.
Right. It was like the radio version of TRL.
For sure.
Like
in hip hop.
In hip hop. Like in TRL, it's like that kind of like told you what was going on.
Yeah.
I would say that this is the
100%.
radio version of that.
100%.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that moment I was like, okay, I'm on the right path. I made the right choice. And I just rocked ever since.
So when I auditioned at the Cellar, it was part of a documentary they did on the Cellar.
Really?
Remember True TV did these like documentaries?
Yeah.
And it was like about comedy, and one of the episodes was about the Cellar. So I got suggested for an audition by Lenny Marcus, hilarious comedian, friend of ours. And then I got an email back, hey, we'd love for you to audition, but there's this documentary being taped and the producers want to talk to you.
Oh,
about being a part of it.
They need of auditioning and stuff.
Right, because they were like, how do we talk about the Cellar? And I can't say no.
Right.
Like, I'm like, I have to say yes. I want to be a part of this Cellar family.
Right.
Like, I don't want to. So the producers reach out and I'm like, and I go for a meeting with them at True TV. And like, I remember talking to them and I'm like, listen, you could see from their perspective, like, you're going to be on TV. I'm like, I don't care about this show. I was like, and I was really honest with them. I go, the only thing I want in the world is to be at the Cellar. You're kind of in the way of that. You're making this a little bit harder.
You told them that.
Yeah. I'm like, this is
good for
a huge opportunity for me. And I'm like, I'll do what you guys need to do because I have to say yes to you because I want to play ball with this place and be, able to like, but I'm like, listen, I'm nervous about my audition. You are like, this is nothing in the grand scheme of things. And I don't think they understood
their storyline might be like, hey, it's really hard to get here and this guy didn't make it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Fuck that.
This is actually, you're taking something I would love to fail in private and now you're making it very public.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I said to them, I go, and I even said it on the documentary. I was like, listen, and this is to your point. This is the only reason I bring this up. There's no money to be had from the Comedy Cellar. It's not a money thing. Like, and I think some people, and this goes back to like, if you're trying to change your life in any way, there are some people that only see it in dollars and cents.
Yeah.
They can't. I've dated people. Why are you going to the open mic? It doesn't pay you. You're paying to do it. Well, I see value in it. Yeah. I do believe this will pay me at some point, but I'm not doing that now. Like, this is the work. This is when you write a bit, nothing makes you write a bit other than wanting to write a new bit. Yeah. You're not like, and in the future, it might be your bit that makes you money on TikTok and Instagram, but like, that's not where the thought comes from. Yeah. That's why a lot of this like social media stuff is eye-rolled by a lot of comedians who weren't marketing majors. So there's a lot of marketing majors making money as comedians, quote unquote.
Right.
So this whole thing of like, so I said this on the documentary. I said, there's very few promotions in comedy. There's very few times where someone hits you on the shoulder and goes, great job, kid. You get to go to the next level.
Right.
I was like, getting in the Cellar, I consider a promotion. It is like, and it's validating. It makes you more confident. It makes you believe in yourself a little more. It's that little nudge. And like, you sometimes, if you're doing something different and weird or not traditional, you're always looking, you have to invent those promotions for yourself so that you can have a win every now and again.
Yeah.
So I totally understand what you're talking about. Because I remember and at the end, I went up and auditioned. I was too fast. I was screaming. And I remember, I mean, they all make fun of me still. Like Liz, the GM, Alicia, they were all there. I remember Mayron was like the only one nice to me. Mayron Kagani, who's a hilarious comedian too. And I sat across from Messi and she's like, we'll give this a shot. Like, she kind of like lightly passed me. It wasn't
right.
I think if the show wasn't there, I wouldn't have gotten in, to be honest. I think the show might have helped me.
Was the camera rolling on her telling you this?
Everything. And then they showed it.
That's a weird situation.
And then they had like a premiere party to like show it at the Cellar, and I didn't know anyone there yet, really. Like, I wasn't like as comfortable. And I remember they played it at the Cellar, and like and I'm like so nervous about like, are they going to show me bombing? Are they going to show like my set? And I remember I got like a message on Facebook from someone that like I kind of knew, and they're like, I just saw that, like, rough edit. And I'm like,
oh man.
I'm like, fuck me. I felt so bad. And I don't know if it's out there still. There might be clips out there or whatever. And, I did get in. So I'm like, that was nice, but it was, I mean, Liz, who's a friend of ours, a good friend, and she's the manager of all managers.
She's the hen mother.
Yeah, she does it all at the Cellar, and she still makes fun of me for this audition. Like, It's just I'm never gonna live that down. But it is. I wanted to ask also. Okay, well, what's the craziest party you've ever DJ'd?
Oh, Diddy party.
Come on.
It was Freak Off 20.
Stop it! Shut up! Don't make this. Don't ruin this episode.
Can I say something about Diddy real quick? Since everybody always asks me. Listen,
is that the question you get most now? Is the Diddy?
A lot.
Yeah,
a lot. Let me tell you something. I don't know about all that wild, crazy shit. I don't know about it. When I knew him, and I mean, I've always known him, but like the parties he did in the 90s and 2000s were phenomenal. Not every party was a freak off, okay? There was regular nightclub special event parties, and he was good at making parties. The craziest.
See, I didn't even know that you knew him. Like
Oh yeah.
So
Very well. To edit this, he's one of my idols.
I'll edit it if you want, but I mean,
no, I'm saying like he really was.
That's the hard thing about like of what things come out. You go, I knew him in this way. I didn't know him in this other way.
Listen, yeah, 100%. 100%.
You know?
And there's always little rumors about little things, but like, listen, as far as I'm concerned, what he did for hip hop music in New York City and how he turned New York hip hop scene into its own, he was incredible to watch.
It's difficult to separate. So,
yeah, but when I was a kid, I lived in the Bronx. I lived in a borderline Italian neighborhood. I worked in as a little kid, I don't know, 12-year-old kid. There was a deli, and they used to have illegal slot machines in the back of this deli. And I was the guy who would clean out the money. I also kept a lookout.
Right.
And I worked for the mafia, right? But as a 12-year-old kid, this guy Frankie used to give me money and taught me a lot of lessons about life. And like, if you write it down on paper, yeah, a criminal.
Well, I think what the accusations are very different than.
Yes, I'm just saying.
Cleaning out the lottery machine. I do understand what you're saying. Like, it's like so much of this is in the gray, but I based on what he's being accused of, like,
yes,
it is like
horrendous.
It's hard to say, like, if you look at like the idea of the white party is all via him. Like,
no.
You don't think the white party, the idea that white people started doing their own white parties, white people
were doing white parties first.
Really?
Yeah.
I always thought, I mean, I'm talking from my 39-year-old TRL watching childhood, the bridge from who has a white party to like it happening for, at white, places was Diddy.
The white party is from the fashion world.
Okay.
Because it's, how you can't wear white after Labor Day?
Yes.
So they would wear white on the weekends of the Labor Day party.
Oh. And I never saw it that way.
But it wasn't so eccentric like Diddy made. So then Diddy, making
he
money. He
popularized it.
Going to the Hamptons was like, oh, I could do something like this, but fucking make it crazy.
Right. His influence cannot be told,
yeah.
Like, it's so what's the craziest DJ that you like party that you've ever DJ'd? Now that we've gone through the most difficult topic of all time. Yeah.
I've done a lot of crazy parties. I've done parties in Japan, London. I did a party in London, where it was Eminem and Dr. Dre had a tour, the Up in Smoke tour. And they were performing that night in London. We had nothing to do with them, but they came to our party after their tour. And they were upstairs. The DJ booth was like on the ground level, and then there was an upstairs. They were up there. Everyone was telling me, yo, Dre and Eminem are up there. I was like, oh, shit. And I DJ'd for like 20, 30 minutes. And it was, almost a riot in there, like how much fun it was. And then the people outside couldn't get in and bust down the door to come inside, how fun it sounded.
So when you're DJing, is that like them being there just makes the energy different? Is that what it is? Is it a combination of you killing it as a DJ and them being there that's adding to the excitement? What is
excitement of me or the crowd?
What do you think that is? Is the crowd excited because you're killing it in combination? I'm the coolest place on earth right now. Is that what it is?
I try to kill regardless. I stress myself out. Any vacation I've ever been on, I'm sitting by the pool. I got my laptop out, prepping crates of playlists of things I think will work for a party. It's torture. It's torture. I pride myself on being, I don't drink, I don't smoke. When I go to parties, I'm there to work. Right. And it's funny because a lot of my boys used to come with me and I would go into a trance, a 2-hour trance of watching the crowd, like movements and colors and making sure that why is this group not moving as much as this group? Let me play some reggae. Let me play some R&B. Let me thug it out a little more, right? And then my friends would be like, just bagging chicks, just getting girls. And I would wake up from my trance and the DJ booth is filled with girls. And I'm like, hey, when did you guys get all these girls?
Right, what happened?
And they're like, no, you were killing it. And they wanted to talk to you and you shoved her away. I was like,
do you feel like, I know what it's like to feel like I'm killing in stand-up. Is it similar to killing as a DJ? Is it better? Is it different?
It's similar, but it's way more. It's
do you feel like the puppeteer? Like, do you feel like you have that much control over whether people will dance and how they'll dance?
Yes, 100%. And I'll tell you this. I love killing with stand-up, but there's nothing like the people's movements, dancing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, even when you watch the sidelines of, I don't really dance. So if I'm at a club, I'm on the sidelines. And if you see the guy on the side bopping his head, going crazy,
I've told this story so many times, but when I taped the special, that ended up on Netflix, I was backstage and I asked Cipha, who I asked you to open and DJ and do the whole thing, and then you were going on a family vacation, you couldn't do it, but you're like, I'll send you a mix, and I'm like, and I go, Cipha, you know my crowd, you know who comes to my show, just make it for them.
Yeah.
And you made this mix, and you literally said to me, you go, dude, I killed this too hard. It's too good. And I was like, sure. And you know, I'm not like a music guy. I don't know music well enough. Like, again, like I'm a TRL. That's it. Like, I have that's like my music background. And I'll never forget it where the show's about to start. And they're like, yeah, the crowd is hot. Yeah. And I open up the curtain. I'm looking out and everyone is dancing like in their seats to this mix. And then the security guards are dancing. Yeah. And like, I'm like, oh my God, Cipha was fucking right.
Yeah, but the thing is, where was that? Where'd you shoot that one? At
Gramercy Theater, yeah.
You don't even know this. I called a few different people. Your manager, maybe opener, whoever. And I was like, yo, you gotta make sure this is played loud. Yes. I told Liz from the Cellar. Can you please make sure, like, not overwhelmingly loud, but it can't just be walk-in music volume.
No.
You have to, it's created to replicate if I was there live. It has to have some oomph to it.
It was so good, and I brought it on the road, and I remember every club I went to on the road, I'd say it to them, play it as they walk in. Like, we go to these clubs, and it's like the saddest person on earth is in the sound booth. He's like, it's always the same type of dude who's like a Black Sabbath fan, and he's like playing his music. And I'm like, play this loud, and every club would be like, and it was always the female waitstaff. They'd be like, what is that? Yeah. That was so great. They'd be like so excited that some happiness entered the funny bone.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true. It's true.
Wow, Cipha, you're the best. I want everyone to go follow Cipha Sounds at Cipha Sounds. Everything so funny. Go now. I'm Jared Freid. We're here every Wednesday with a Chit Chat Wednesday. Back next week. Boom.